How's it going, everybody? I just wanted to give you a couple of minute walkthrough of a new tank I've been setting up, so let's get to it. This is a 110 gallon, 20 inches tall, 18 inches deep. I'm planning on running an open top. We'll see how my fish enjoy that. I have a couple of hang on back filters that are temporary, just trying to get the bioactivity up. Oopsie, I was in it messing around earlier today. Got a Beams Work 72 inch full spectrum light, LEDs of course, 5 rows of LEDs. I think it kind of adds a bit of brightness over top of some others. I wanted to show you this. I put this in last night. These are stainless steel intake and outflow pipes, and what I did was I kind of like black just because it blends in with the base cabinet and kind of fades away a little bit better. I'll use these opposed to glass just because I didn't want to have to clean them all the time. It's got a skimmer, surface skimmer. And if I can bring you down low here, there's the intake, which you can actually turn to adjust how deep the skimmer goes. There's the outflow nozzle over there, if you can see that. And it also, I picked one where you could not have to turn the pipe, but actually turn the end for the adjustment. And what I've got going on down here is I've got a little DIY CO2 system. And yeah, these are a little gimmicky, but I got them for free, so I threw them in there. The little pH and ammonia testers, which probably don't work tremendously well. The pH one I can confirm because I use an API liquid kit. I'm not sure you can ever see any bubbles. I've got it set back pretty fine, even though I'm pretty sure the CO2 level is high in this tank, because even the snails are like trying to jump ship. But I'm just trying to get the tank kicked off and get the plant growth going up. So just, you know, none of these plants came from stores. They all came from like tanks that I purchased. Actually, I got some of these Vallisnerias from some hobbyist, and some of these marble balls back in the corner are from old original hobbyist tanks, so none of them are real pretty. This dwarf sage came from a hobbyist. Some of the other plants are kind of were picked on by fish on another tank, so I'm kind of giving them a fresh start here for a couple of weeks. This Java fern, I bought a 65 gallon tank that was just packed full of this stuff, so it was amazingly beautiful when I got it, and I managed to brown up a bunch, and you know, had to, while I was setting this tank up, had to take it out of another tank, and a lot of the tips had to be out of the water, and of course they died off. I do have this little power head for some extra flow for right now. I don't know if I'm going to keep it in there or move it. I figured with a 6-foot tank it probably is going to need some push backwards on the water flow just to kind of get everything circulating really well. Let me show you something else about, I'm kind of random here with my walkthrough, but these are meant to go over a rimless tank, and you can see that's the part that hangs on the rimless, and then this holds it. All I did was flip it and use suction cups, and so that's actually what's holding it up, and then this one just holds that in place vertically. So I kind of thought that was a nice way to use those without having to abandon them. And I don't think they stick out and are too horrible looking. Alright, let's look at the cabinet and see, because it's probably the nicest it's ever going to look. Open up all 3 doors. I do love the storage in this thing. And since this is the nicest it's going to look, I'll show it to you. Hey Google, turn maintenance mode on.
You got it. Turning on the maintenance.
And my intention with that is I may hook up a couple smart switches to turn the pump off and the heater off while I'm doing a water change, you know, just by one feature, turn the lights on in the cabinet. This is a high door 300 watt inline heater that I got for $5 at one of my local club meetings, so that's pretty awesome. There's the Eheim Pro 2. It's a little bit noisy, I guess. It's probably more noisy than it should be. I'm not really sure. I don't have a lot of experience with a bunch of canister filters, but I did buy a lot of them very recently. So I'm going through trying to pick out the ones I like. There is a DIY CO2 system. I'd say the fail point of that one is that little guy right there. So probably not a bad system if you could put it on a different regulator, but I'm not a big fan of them. Got these little acrylic stands, which I kind of like, just for setting things up, dressing it up a little bit nicer. I don't have it real clean in here, but my intention with the air pump is to kind of run it when the CO2, so run that at night and CO2 during the day. Since this CO2 doesn't ever shut off, I wanted to provide some aeration to add oxygen back into the water in the evenings. I've got two different types of fertilizer. I bought this, which is from Glosso Factory. I can't really tell you that it makes a ton of difference, but I guess my plants have been growing, but they're not growing crazy. But again, I don't have a full-on CO2 system set up. I got this ThriveX with a multi-tank purchase, and of course I got a 2-liter bottle of Excel, and I just kind of dose that in. So alright, let's see what's in the next one. A bunch of stuff I really don't ever use, but it kind of looks nice when you line it up like that. I got some washcloths for some quick cleanups. My wife just gave me some of our old towels to use, and I've got a couple of those acrylic stands inverted to kind of hold them in place. The LED there is for a future project. I'm going to backlight the tank, but I gotta find a board to do it with. I'm going to get some bumpers on those two little felt ones so they don't slam shut. But anyway, I think that's a pretty good overview of what's going on with the tank. Thanks for joining me.